Sometimes when we're working these problems, they're not asking us to prove the sides are equal. Once again, they're asking us to simplify. And in this case, they've told me to simplify by using the common denominator. They will not always tell me how to simplify or how to prove. We're just using different kinds of problems for examples. When you look here, I have two fractions that I am adding together, and they do not have a common denominator. And fractions must have a common denominator in order to be added together. So, when I look at these two fractions, what is the common denominator? Well, the common denominator is sine of theta times the cosine of theta, because they're different. They're two different factors, and so the common denominator would be both of them multiplied together. Well, what's missing from this first fraction to have a common denominator of sine theta cosine theta is to multiply the top and the bottom by cosine theta. Well, we've already done the bottom, so let's do the top. Cosine times 1 is cosine theta. Cosine times sine is cosine theta sine theta. But that's only this fraction. We also have to do this fraction, and we're going to multiply by sine theta over sine theta, and that's going to give me cotangent theta times sine theta minus cosine theta sine theta. And all of that is over sine theta cosine theta. So now we're looking for anything we can simplify. I hope you recognize that they gave me a cosine theta sine theta that's positive and a cosine theta sine theta that's negative. Those are zero pairs. They can become zero, so we can cancel those out. I also hope you recognize that this is cotangent, and cotangent can be written as cosine over sine. And cosine over sine lets me cancel out the sine values. So I've got cosine theta plus cosine theta. That's 2 cosine theta on top over sine theta cosine theta. There's no addition. This is all multiplication, so cosine can cancel, and that leaves me 2 over sine theta. Well, what is the reciprocal of sine theta? The reciprocal of sine theta is cosecant theta, and there are 2 of them. So we have simplified from all of this, 1 plus sine theta over sine theta plus cotangent theta minus cosine theta over cosine theta, just down to this simple 2 cosecant of theta. Or if you like 2 over sine theta, that's fine, but if they ask for it in terms of cosecant, this is what they're looking for. Wouldn't this be a much easier problem to do than this one? So let's do another one. A little more complicated common denominator. The common denominator for this problem is going to be 1 minus sine theta times 1 plus sine theta. Oh, there's our conjugates. We'll come back to that in a minute, but that's our denominator that's common. What's missing from the first fraction? 1 plus sine theta. So we're going to multiply that times the top. What's missing from this one? 1 minus sine theta. So we're going to add and then multiply that on the other side. What does that give us? Hopefully you've recognized now that this is 1 plus 1, which is 2. The sine theta and negative sine theta are a zero pair. And on the bottom, that's 1 minus sine squared theta. Think about your trigonometric identities. What is 1 minus sine squared theta? It can be written as cosine squared theta, so this is 2. Cosine squared theta is the reciprocal of secant squared theta, so this is 2 secant squared theta, and we have simplified using a common denominator.